Hi, Adam Bierman, Princeton TV. We're here at the very eclectic and successful book launch in for Dr. Sharma. Dr. Sharma, for those who don't know, is a cultural psychologist, a marketing consultant, and an acclaimed author with a doctorate in psychology and human development from Harvard University. He writes for Asia Times Online, Al Jazeera English, Global Intelligence, among many other periodicals. He's also written two books. One is best-selling. The first one was Barack Obama and Hawaii and Indonesia, story of our first multicultural president. And now we want to find out more about his new book, The Global Obama, Crossroads of Leadership in the 21st Century. Thank you for taking the time, Dr. Sharma.
Thank you for coming to a successful launch.
Oh, well, it was. I mean,
a
lot of people, and again, talk about multicultural, the whole world's back here.
So I think you wanted to ask me which president I would sleep with.
God, you cut right up the vine, yes.
That's your
yes. Well,
exciting question, which I did answer. I kind of dodged it.
I might either.
But let secret be known. Clearly, Obama is my muse.
Oh, God. I won't go about sexual positions or anything like that.
No, nothing like that.
I guess. But anyway, we know that Obama is someone who's been on your radar. Yeah. Your book, Barack Obama and Hawaii and Indonesia, I think is a paradigm shift because it basically signals that this country is changing demographically, socially, and culturally. And in a way, it's a Bible. I did get the chance to read it. I didn't buy it because it's too cheap, but I got it from other sources.
Well, I wouldn't call it a Bible because
for me it was a Bible.
It wasn't thick enough, or big enough, or I don't know.
But what were you trying to say?
Yeah, I think in that book, like you interviewed me, right, a couple of years ago for that first book, Barack Obama, Hawai'i and Indonesia, and we also interviewed his sister for Princeton TV, Maya Sotoro Ng, and you were there at that launch as well at Princeton Library. That book was really trying to show how Obama is very multicultural in his upbringing, socialization, and international in his outlook, growing up in Hawaii and Indonesia. And some of his policies now, I mean, have kind of borne that out, right? In terms of the Asian pivot.
Examples being with the
Asian pivot.
Right.
The deal now he's trying to advance with Iran, with Rouhani, which is controversial, of course, but it is a step in a direction that the U.S. has not taken in many, almost 35 years. And then, I think what the president is trying to do, obviously in various parts of Africa, North Africa, South Africa, is also landmark, in terms of leadership. So that's really what kind of segues into the next book, The Global Obama, because when we did the first book, we found out that the president was a lot more popular significantly overseas than at home, and we wanted to find out what were the reasons for this popularity abroad. And clearly some of it is his persona, his biography, but some of it is also his policies. So for instance, in Europe, he gets high marks for the bailout. In Asia, he does get positive marks for the Asian pivot, even though the Chinese counterparts are somewhat critical of the Asian pivot because they see it as a kind of an intrusion into their domain.
The Chinese want to become like the Middle Kingdom power again,
exactly.
And they see the U.S. might see them as not an ally, but more as a competition, right?
Certainly a competitor.
Distrust on both
Absolutely.
sides.
But the smaller Asian economies, as we talk about in this book, The Global Obama, have kind of invited the U.S. back into Asia in a much more active way. It's not like U.S. left Asia. I mean, the U.S. presence in Asia goes back to the Korean War and even earlier. But since the Korean War, 60 years ago almost, U.S. has been quite actively involved in Asia. Vietnam War, now the wars in Afghanistan, our conflict in Pakistan, in Afghanistan prior to that with the Mujahideen.
China is becoming a rising economic power, at least. It cannot be ignored.
Correct, cannot be ignored, and it's a partner that we're doing business with on a regular basis. The U.S. is, right? So, and they own obviously a good bit of our debt through treasuries and bonds and whatnot. So we're in a tight holding pattern with China. So we're competitors and we're partners.